Yeah, I'll try to give you the most honest answer I can. I feel that predicting macro market changes, especially in the short term, are very, very difficult. And that's something I actually try to remind myself of a lot. I don't know what's going to happen. What can I do that makes me win regardless of what happens? And that's kind of how I'm thinking of it. And I could see, like you're saying, I think the Fed has a lot of control, and I recognize that since the beginning of Bitcoin, we really haven't had a Fed that is hawkish. And we're throwing some dynamics in the equation of what makes crypto go up that we haven't had before, and so it only makes me more humble to myself and be less quick to say that I know what's going to happen. And so for me, what I've done is I think we're at relatively low levels. I mean, Bitcoin has actually dropped more than this in the majority of its dips, but it's low enough, like, Hex is down quite a bit, for me to buy at these levels, because I don't know if we're going lower. But I don't buy everything. I have funds set aside so that if we go lower, I'm still happy and can hopefully buy the dip. And so I don't know. And I've tried to put myself in a position that I, in a sense, don't really care. I've tried to maximize on the fact that I don't know and act accordingly. Like I could try to do percentages. I try to think in percentages. What's the percent chance that we're going lower? I have been a little bit surprised how well Bitcoin has held up so far, personally. Even just looking at technical analysis, it really looked like we were going to drop lower, and we haven't yet. I do feel that we have more pain in the markets, and a lot can happen. So I don't know. I still put it at like 50%. It's we might drop and we might not. I think, yeah, I don't know. And another thing, for what it's worth, I think that Ethereum, personally, going so like almost flat right now, it's not really inflationary or deflationary, has a pretty bullish effect on the market as a whole. Just because it's the second biggest market cap, it's the second most traded token aside from stablecoins and Bitcoin. And I think that would otherwise actually potentially have really pushed for a bull market to come, because I think that's going to influence what would otherwise be extra sell pressure that we've taken off the market. But now we have a broader economy that is really meaningful. What the Fed does and what these other countries are doing with some tightening going on, that affects people's pocketbooks. And it's really interesting to me to see, because I see crypto as a relatively speculative asset, when I would expect, when people are fearful, to not really want to put a lot of money in. But then we also have this interesting dynamic where people are losing a little bit of trust in the monetary system, and how many people are going to turn to crypto, regardless of its speculative nature, as a safe haven, even if it's just a portion of their portfolio. I feel like that narrative is potentially more real than it's ever been. There's been pundits of various types that are more freedom focused, and they're starting to say, like, I don't trust my government anymore. I want to hold money in crypto. Like Andrew Tate, of all people, is one of the people that is just yelling that message I hear. And so it's interesting. It's very hard for me to predict, and I don't have a clear answer for you. I mean, I can look at the same thing everyone else is and seeing the projected interest rates rising, but I also know that everyone else knows that. And if everyone else knows that, they're going to act accordingly. That's going to be priced in. And there's always second order thinking of sorts that needs to happen, I think. if everyone knows something, then how will they act from that? So, and then you act off of what you think other people are going to do, and it's not easy. And because of that, like I said, I haven't bet very hard one way or the other. That's a really long answer to your question.
Let me ask you this question. You know, being that you were in, heck from the beginning, and you were probably there if you were following Richard to see that he called the 20K Christmas top, and come around this cycle, for Richard to basically, were you able to tell off of that tweet that he showed, BTC falling out of the parabola? Were you able to, did that click for you to say, oh yeah, boom, yep, he's saying here's the top, and oh yep, shit, he's a guy that's freaking made all these amazing calls, and oh shit, boom, better sell all my shit and go into stables? Were you able to do that? Because I noticed that some OGs that have also been around since the beginning, I won't name any names, but I know that they also FOMO'd the top right there with me, thinking that Hex was going to $1. And so I was just curious as to, were you able to actually see that he called the top on the day and make any moves because of that?
Yeah, I like the question. Yeah, I actually didn't. I did not. I wasn't FOMOing. I was very aware that we're well on our way to the top. I did think we were probably going to go a little bit higher than we did. I did feel that the market stopped faster than I expected. I thought Richard's tweet made sense. I was calculating that in. One of the things for me was a lot of my crypto portfolio was Hex. And what screwed me over, which I take full responsibility for this, was the expectation that Pulse Chain was coming out. And I didn't care if crypto dropped at the time, because I thought the chance that Hex would pump leading to Pulse Chain was enough to hold. I didn't want to sell before I got my copy on Pulse, and we still don't have Pulse out. And so, for me, I was thinking in probabilities, and I was about 90% sure that Pulse was coming out pretty soon. And so I was holding, basically for that. And I did end up selling, but it wasn't when Richard Hart said, it was later. And I'm so thankful that I did. Basically, price just went down enough that I was asking myself, what's the risk reward? Can I handle going down lower? No, I can't. Well, then I better sell, or at least sell a portion of my portfolio, that if we enter a full run bear market, Pulse Chain doesn't come out, that I'm still happy. And so I did that. And I completely do not regret it. That ended up being a good thing. But I wasn't fast enough. I didn't sell right when Richard tweeted that.
Yeah, because I'm curious about this for next cycle. Now that I understand how cycles work, now that I really understand how Hart's Law works, I understand how everything's connected, to the stock market, to these interest rates. I've just learned so much that I want to be able to recognize it next bear market, so that I can have that luxury of, selling somewhere close to the top and fucking rebuying at these ridiculously low prices.